Hello and herzlich willkommen back to my stream. Not stream, but yeah, videos on YouTube. I'm back. And I'm sorry for not uploading videos in a while. But I had to reset my hard disk, so I couldn't really continue my Jack the Land 2 gameplay because my save games were lost. But I'm planning to go back on Jack the Land 2 with the 1.13 mod. I already installed it, but I haven't started the game yet. Or I have actually started it and saw all the options and was a little overwhelmed, but I thought it was really cool, the new options that I saw when you start a game with the 1.13 mod. So I will definitely do that very soon. But for now, I'm jungling with Tahm Kench. This is the post commentary. I have already played the match right now, and yeah, I also want to make this a little bit of a guide. I think I will put like the very guide-ish parts at some point in the video, and then put a link maybe in the annotations right now, just so you can get there if you don't really want to see the full gameplay. So yeah, first of all I want to start with some general thoughts on why I'm jungling with Tahm Kench and why I'm loving it. It's not because he has the best early clear, as you can maybe see there, but he got a very good early mid game to late game clear in the jungle, especially with his W and his passive from the R. And the big camps are really the toughest one for him at any stage, just because you cannot swallow the big ones. And yeah, general thoughts on why he is a really broken champ at the moment is, or in general, I'm not sure Riot is gonna change him very soon. But the passive on R is just ridiculous. You can build full HP and have tons of damage. And I have bought Tahm Kench originally as a support. I played like 1 or 2 games with him and I was super annoyed by his strange mechanics and I couldn't get used to it. I've seen very good, or one really good support Tahm Kench. And he was always swallowing his ally in the right moment, like disengaging every gank just by swallowing the ally. And he had like insane ganks with his jungler inside of him with his ultimate. That was really a great Tahm Kench support, but I don't think he's a very good support champ in general. You have much more reliable picks there, like any pick, like Leona, Trash. I mean, Trash has a really high skill cap, but if there's a good Trash, then bottom lane is just safe. And yeah, for my first gank, I'm a little bit shy of ganking before 6, just because your damage is really low. And yeah, right there Yasuo is being really stupid by one-ing me and letting me get all stacks in. And I'm just flashing there to secure the kill. maybe we could have got it without my flash, and maybe even Ace could have got the kill, but yeah, he is even saying sorry, and it wasn't any problem at all. But I needed to go bot to do something. And I'm not really doing good in this gank. I managed to get a Q stun and a W devour in on you, and I was able to soak up a lot of damage. But when fights get too big with too many members involved, Tahm Kench is falling off rapidly. Like, his 1v1, his dueling potential is just insane. He is maybe the best duel champion in League of Legends right now. Might sound a little strange, but I've seen top lane Tahm Kench going completely out of control. I've never seen a good jungle Tahm Kench before, to be honest. But I somehow figured that he would do great in the jungle just because he's a little bit, or he's actually very much of a mid to late game champ. He's not that strong early. Because to get to his brokenness you have to at least have level 6. To get his passive of his R off. It's giving him damage on every damaging spell, which includes swallowing and spitting out minions and enemies and your tongue. Also you get the same extra damage, which is like 20 plus 4 to 8% depending on the level of your health. And that's really insane, because you can build tons of health and you get tons of damage on your auto attack, which just doesn't seem right. But that's the way he works, and as long as he's broken like that, I will play him. And we get another one off here, I think. Wasn't a bad performance by me, but wasn't really my best. Like, Ace was doing a lot of good kiting in this fight, and they were engaging really obvious paths. So yeah, normally early ganks with Tahm can go really south. Especially if you decide to like early tower dive or something. You might think, oh, I got my E, so I can take a lot of tower damage, but somehow I get counter ganked like 50% of the time, and then we just feed the enemy jungler and the enemy lane. And yeah. As soon as you get like to the stage I am now, if you got Cinderhulk and level 6, then you can really go insane. Because you right now have close to 2000 HP. Or let's say without the Ruby Crystal, maybe you got a good 1.5. And right here, I should have gone maybe in a little bit earlier. And I could have dived this. I could have gone for my W devour there, because Vlad would have been definitely dead. But I was a little bit afraid because of the reasons that I stated before, because of my experience with rather early tower ganks going south. And there you can beautifully see what happens to his jungle clear as soon as he hits 6. It gets really fast. Like, if you have smite, it's like any camp is a 2-second clear. If you don't have smite, it's maybe 5 seconds. So for the small camps, big like blue and red are still hard. Then yeah, and right now I'm just doing what I love, which is spitting minions right through Yasuo's shield. Yasuo's shield cannot block my minion spittage. And I think minion spitting is maybe a very solid way to play him as a top laner, because it has good range and people just don't expect you to deal a lot of damage by spitting minions, but you can. I'm not sure if I'm ulting in. No, I'm just walking in there. I could have maybe ulted there to get there a little bit faster. But let's just eat the Leona. Tahm, if you wanna gank with Tahm, you should really watch out for situations like this, where an enemy is already low. Maybe with 6 you can already start just ganking a full HP opponent, but before 6 you should never gank a full HP opponent. I mean, I think I ganked Yasuo earlier this game when he had full HP, but he was just acting really stupid, so we managed to kill him. But yeah, like right now, right now I'm doing a little bit of a mistake because I didn't see Ace coming in there, and he was able to get a beautiful ultimate off, and I failed to protect him. I'm stealing the kill from Lucian, so yeah, not my best fight, but we still get out ahead. Yeah, and Leona's trying to be stupid here. I didn't have to flash out, but I didn't see Lucian coming in. And I'm gonna spit a minion at them, and I overestimate my range on that pretty much. And they just won't stop even if they know I'm here. Of course, this is obviously because there's E around, but that's why I'm waiting here just to disengage any potential gank from me right there. But I really wanna go B. So yeah, this game I'm getting Trinity Force, but with another Ruby Crystal, which is not for the Trinity Force, just to get my R rolling. Building paths. Okay, let's talk about building paths right here. You can build many stuff on him. I've played him successfully with many different builds. I think the most obvious one you want to go in the jungle is Cinderhulk and just stack HP like insane. Yeah, that's maybe the first building path. And you should really watch out for only stacking HP. Like for example, Frozen Heart looks good on paper because it gives you mana, CDR, a nice utility passive, and all this armor, but it gives you no health. I think one of the few defensive items without HP I would get on Tahm is Thornmail. Just because AD carries are maybe the worst opponent for Tahm, especially if they are very kitey AD carries. So like a third item Thornmail is really not a bad idea on Tahm, even though you won't get any passive stacks from it. Other build paths. Devourer. I didn't believe in the Devourer, just because Cinderhulk seems to synergize so extremely well with your passive That Devourer just didn't feel right. But I've tried Devourer before and it's really insane. But it changes your playstyle. If you play with Devourer, your main focus is to stun enemies with your Q. So you will get like 3 or 4 auto attacks in while they are stunned and deal a lot of damage. When you go for a full tank path, your main goal is to devour them, because your devour will deal more damage with more HP. And yeah, devouring enemies is very valuable, but you cannot auto attack them while you devour them. That's why when you get Devourer as an item, you don't want to use Devour the skill. Sounds strange, but it is like that. Of course, you can. You should use Devour if you can just secure the kill. If you see they're at around 30% HP, you should be able to just kill them by devouring them. And I failed a tongue, but I managed to get 2 autos onto Yasuo and deal already a lot of damage by this. And right now I think I got a gold ultimate in, which is kinda rare. If you start playing Tahm Kench, you will just fail a lot of ultimates. It happened to me a lot where I just ulted into the enemy backline and they were just destroying me. And you can actually do many bad engages with your ultimate just because it's such a telegraphed engage. Because they will know like 2 seconds beforehand that you are coming, and they can prepare and just get all in the right positions to just burst you down 4v1 or something, or even 3v1. Yeah, and this is a really bad setup against the Yi. We were all low and he was coming in, and it was just overextending. Which is of course a downside to Tahm, that you're sometimes just getting too greedy without realizing that they can very well just kill you right there. I don't really like my next buy, which is I mean, it's perfect gold amount to buy the Sheen, but the Sheen is really not a very good item. Like, the Phage is a phenomenal good item. That's like the whole reason for buying Trinity Force on Tahm Kench is the Phage. And you cannot build Phage into the Black Cleaver, because you don't deal physical damage. Like, the damage enhancement on your ultimate is magic damage. So building Phage into Black Cleaver really doesn't do much for me, and in this fight I think I will miss every of my tongues, like first tongue miss, second tongue miss. Third tongue miss. We are not... yeah, we could have maybe got something out of this fight if I would have at least hit a tongue. And yeah, spitting again through Yasuo's shield never gets old, and I failed the 4th tongue by... yeah, and the 5th tongue gets in. 4th tongue failed against Yasuo's shield. I'm not sure what's happening in this fight here, but I really don't like these situations where you are facing off 4v4 or 5v5. Tahm Kench is a great duelist and great in some skirmishes, but not really great in team fights. I mean, yeah, The enemy is just giving me the perfect position to fill my role, just to soak up tons of damage with my E. So the rest of my team can clear up, or can finish up like the 1 or 2 enemies diving them. But in general, Tahm Kench is sometimes really tough to play in 5v5s, just because it's really tough to focus someone down, and if you devour somebody, for example, you get really slow, and it's even hard to get 3 solid stacks in on a single target, just because everybody is running around everywhere. I'm not sure if we can get a good example of me dueling somebody here. Selling Ruby Crystal just to finish off Trinity Force. I don't like it, but well. The Trinity Force feels really good on Tahm Kench though. I remember it in that game. And in this game I'm also able to get off a lot of nice ultimates, which is really unusual for me. But the wow, and the failed flash, and still secured the kill. But your ultimate needs a lot of practice. Okay, so I think we've talked about builds. Maybe one more thing about the Devourer. If you build Devourer, you are still going full tank after it. You build full HP and only have like the Devourer as a really offensive item. You can maybe stack like Devourer and Trinity Force. Might be a good idea. But yeah, you shouldn't have more than one offensive item really on Tahm Kench. Because health stacking is just like the main deal. Maybe the other brokenness about Tahm Kench is the damage she can deal on Devour. It's like super underestimated, I think. It's at max rank it's like 36%. And you will also apply your damage enhancement of your ultimate to it. So a squishy target you can maybe deal like 50% of their health just by devouring them. Yeah, and our bot lane, especially our Leona, is really doing well. She's like shielding me a lot. She's maybe a little greedy and engaging a lot, but I love that about people. I really don't like it when they're playing too passive. For my runes and masteries, yeah, like 15 minutes into the video, or even 20 or more than 20 minutes in the video, I will start talking about runes and masteries. Yay! Okay. I'm running 0921 on Tahm. And to be fair, I'm running 0921 on many champs like Tahm. I also run it on Amumu and sometimes on Rammus. The biggest reason for doing that is a percent missing mana regeneration. Because Tahm Kench gets completely shut down if he's out of mana. Like, from being a super high threat target, from being going to completely ignorable is when you are out of mana. And when you have 1.5% of your missing mana regenerating every 5 seconds, you just won't get out of mana without any mana items. And yeah, right there, Yasuo tried to 1v1 me a bit, but it's a really bad idea, because I have a 5-second stun when he gets restacked. I have a 5-second cooldown on my stun as soon as he gets restacked, and secured the kill. Secured the kill. Runes. My runes are also a little bit not typical, at least from what I've seen for Tahm Kench. It's 10% cooldown between all cooldown quints for 7.5. Then 3 more flat cooldown quints in the blue for the flat 10%, and then I have 5% at level 18 cooldown in my blues. So I have 15%, I have 10% cooldown at level 1 and 15% cooldown at level 18 in my masteries, in my runes. And I also have 5% cooldown from the utility tree, and nice tongue miss, which lets me miss a kill on blood. Really sad. Really sad. And now Yi is coming in, so I'm dead. I'm trying to pick something off there, but yeah, I just died there. Also, if you run utilities on your jungler, the 29 points in utilities, you will get more movement speed, the 1.5% flat, and the 20% out of the 20 points movement speed out of combat is really big, I think, because you get to go faster around to the objectives or in your own jungle. And if you're engaging a lane, you're normally out of combat, at least for the first few seconds when you're showing up. So you will have a movement speed enhancement there, which is really great on Tahm Kench, because the biggest weakness of Tahm Kench is then that he can get kited. Like, especially if it's like bottom lane, if you are fighting both the support and the AD carry, boy, you can get out-kited like hell. So, like, literally getting maybe one tongue in and that's it, and they are just shredding you down to 0 health and you can do nothing. Because maybe against something like a Leona and Lucian, like, you're just getting out-kited. But for that, it's great to have movement speed, and that's another good argument to get the Trinity Force for the extra movement speed there. Yeah, I wanna eat Yasuo. I really wanna eat him. Ah, there he is. Ah, he blocked, but that won't save him. Oh yeah, get stunned. Get fucked. Oh yeah. For runes, final thoughts on runes, you can run a very other setup of runes. I can also understand if you wanna have 29 points in the defensive tree. Also makes a lot of sense, but I don't like any mana item on Tahm Kench. Like I mentioned before, Frozen Heart, not really that good. It gives you a lot of cooldown reduction, but doesn't really stack with your ultimate passive, which makes it a really bad defensive item. And yeah, you could go for the Frozen Fist. I've done good with the Frozen Fist because if you Q somebody, then get in the auto attack, he will slow them again, which is a really nice utility. But you would end up pretty much buying the item only for the utility and the armor. And I'm really not sure that's worth it. For runes, you could also, for example, go like full tank HP, just flat out, just make it red armor and maybe one armor quint, and then go HP for seals and the other 2 quints. Or stacking HP would also make a lot of sense. You can go magic penetration, don't go hybrid penetration, because you won't deal any physical damage at all. Go for flat magic penetration if you want to get penetration marks. But I think the cooldown is the best thing, because you already have a very low cooldown on your Q, and if you put some early points into Devour, you will also have a low cooldown on it, like 7 seconds you saw there. And the 10% or 15% early and 20% at level 18 are really nice. Another good reason to get all this cooldown is that I don't see many good cooldown items for Tahm, and this is the best moment of the game. I ulti in. I have my hands on smite already because Ezreal spotted them. And yeah, I'm just ending the game with an ultimate there. Just completely ended the game. That's why I wanted to upload this. I hope you enjoyed. I didn't talk about skill sequence. I will link my Mobafire guide in the descriptions to really talk about more of the building and stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Goodbye.